Thanks once again, everyone, for joining us on this Business Leadership Conference call today. As you are hopping on the call, we invite you to mute your phone, but we do appreciate everyone hopping on this call to get this important information. So my name is Josh Walker, and I guess before I have everyone mute their phones, can you hear me? Just a couple of people just tell me if you can hear me or not.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, now mute your phones. All right, so, we've been talking a lot. We had a brainstorming session with the mayor and city manager. Mayor Frost is here on this call. David Bunker, our city administrator, is on the call. And we just talked about resources that we can provide to help the businesses through this unprecedented time. We have never, in our lifetimes, I don't know that anyone in their lifetimes has ever dealt with a situation quite like this. And so this conference call is one idea that we came up with. We reached out to Peter J. He's the president of the Business Resource Center. And Camille, what's Camille's last name?
Pendleton.
Camille Pendleton. So she's over the Small Business Development Center. And so, Peter, real quick, he's with us. Can you just let everyone know how the Business Resource Center is working with businesses during this time?
The Business Resource Center, we typically teach classes to small businesses and work with the Small Business Development Center to provide free business consulting. It's all state and government funded and university funded. The goal is to provide free services to grow the economy and help small businesses. So during this crisis, we're collaborating with the Chamber of Commerce and the SBDC to continue to provide free business consulting and information about how to make it through the coronavirus and what resources are available.
And Camille, are you on the line? Doesn't say, maybe she's not. Oh. Okay.
I can speak for Camille.
Yeah, well, so Peter, just let us know what the Small Business Development Center is doing.
So the Small Business Development Center, typically they provide free consulting in person, but they're doing it all over the internet now, so you can get on a Zoom call with a business consultant for free. These are experienced business consultants. It's all free consulting for your small businesses. They can help you navigate the SBA. You're applying for financing, applying for your emergency loan funds or other things. So it's a free resource. You can get on a phone call with them or a conference call with them. And yeah.
Okay, thanks, Peter. All right, so the information that we're getting, Mayor Frost met with the Bank of American Fork, and so we're going to be turning the time over to them soon. Altabank, they changed their name. My Freudian slip there. But before that, the Chamber has created a lot of resources, and so Christina, are you on the call?
I am.
Great. Christina, would you mind just telling everyone about some of the resources we've got available?
Sure. Hi, everybody. So Josh and I have spent a lot of time brainstorming and trying to find some new ways to help the businesses, because a lot of what we do is in-person contact, and we're not allowed to do that anymore. So we've created some pages on our website. If you go to our homepage at AmericanForkChamber.com or .org, or .org, right?
Yep.
If you go to the homepage, we have a big graphic on the front now that you can click on, and it will take you to a page that we've created that's a whole bunch of resources that you can go to. The first section is all business resources, things that you can do, whether that's getting funding for your business or finding some tips of what you can do while you can't work in your business. You can work on your business, some resources from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the Salt Lake Chamber of Commerce. They all have a lot of staff and bandwidth to do a lot of research and come up with those things. So we've made a whole page where we can connect you to those things, and then we have some things to specifically for businesses on things that you can do if your employees are still coming to work, or if you're just concerned about, the virus itself. So we have some connections to the CDC, the Utah County Health Department, and then at the bottom we have a list of all of our events that we've rescheduled just to kind of keep you updated. But a couple of the pages that I was working on over the weekend and that are going to go live today, one of them is specifically strategies to help your business. So things that you can do in the meantime if you can't be in your business, you can be working on your business. So whether that's professional development, whether that's updating a website or finding some new marketing strategies, that page will go live today, and that will link directly from the other page. And then the other thing that we put up there is just some ways to help support local businesses right now, because it's really important to us. This is something we spent a lot of time on. It's really important to us that none of our small businesses fail, and some of them are only just a few weeks away from doing that. They're very small. They're just little family businesses, and they can't operate at all right now, and we don't want that to happen. So we want to offer some ways for people to still support businesses, including keeping up, subscriptions. If you send your kids to dance and they can't go to dance right now, still keep paying for that. If you want to hoard your food that you collected and saved, go pick up food from some of the small restaurants for dinner and help these businesses still keep bringing some money in so that they can keep their employees employed and they can stay afloat as well. So we've created 2 Facebook pages. We want everybody to join. One of them is North Utah County Takeout, Curbside and Delivery Options. So that's specifically for people to share info about who is doing takeout, curbside, and delivery. And then the other one, and we actually have a lot of people in that one. We're almost to 1,200 people in that group. And we get a lot of posts every day. So that one's been really interactive, and it's been great. The other one, we used to have a Shop Local page on Facebook, and I changed that and created a group instead because it'd be more interactive. More people can post in a group. So now we have Shop Local and Support Local. That's for American Fork, Alpine, Cedar Hills, and Highland. So if everybody could join those, it's just that one specifically is going to talk about especially offers and ways that we can help the small businesses right now that aren't restaurants, and some of the things that they're doing that are special offers. And some of these are just really small businesses, but we're also just promoting buy local. A lot of the chain restaurants are owned by local people. They still need our support too. So we're making it more of a shop local and rather than shop small, because sometimes those things aren't the same, but sometimes they are. So are we going to the mayor now? We can have the mayor.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we're going to go to Mayor Frost now, and he is going to talk about a couple of things that we've been working on with the city, the chamber specifically, and then he's going to introduce our speakers from Altabank.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Just if I could just say this, that American Fork City, we are an operation in of ourselves, and we feel we play a vital role in providing essential services. And so we are making necessary adjustments. We're finding that we're looking at through the lens of our staff, and they're teaching us a lot of things right now on how they feel. And so, but I just wanted to reassure you, and I think that this could be broad-based amongst other cities as well, that the cities are open for business. We might have lobbies that are closed and appointments only. We're pushing people online, and we've been doing that for quite some time, but now we're really pushing in that direction so that we can communicate well with our residents and be able to answer questions and their needs. And when I say that, it's broad-based. It's to our development community. It's important that the wheels of the city continue to turn. And so there are a few things that we have shut down that I would deem as quality of life that we feel like we made quick closures on libraries, recreation centers, because of the nature of what they can do in bringing people together. But outside of that, I just want to reassure you in American Fork and again throughout the other cities that essential services will move forward. We want to express our appreciation to the business community at large. We are in this with you. We want you to make sure that you know that your city cares for you, that you're a very important part of who we are. You really are making up the fabric of our communities, and we are going to be very creative in everything that we can do to make sure that you're successful, that you weather this, that resources that are available are something that are presented to you, and that it's collected. I think that the best place to have that would be through the chamber, and so that there's not confusing information. And so I know that if we work together, we're going to weather this. I would say this, as we have met with with health professionals. What was 2 weeks, and then we'll reanalyze. Feels like it's going to be much longer. And I don't want to think that I can project the future with this, but we're looking at a city organization. Now we're looking at like about 30 days, and then we're going to reassess, and we're going to learn. And so we've had to be very nimble and adapted to change. And I have done that in my own personal business as well. I'm in this with you business owners, that things have changed and modified. And so we're going to learn a lot through this process. So I just want you to let you know that your cities are there for you. They're a resource for you, and we will be very closely connected with the chamber. So let's move on. I'm going to introduce, at least in name and title, some individuals, and we'll turn the time over to them. And then if you have questions and answers and things like that, we can have a Q&A. They can be directed at anybody that's in this room, and then we'll go forward. So first of all, we appreciate Altabank. They're facilitating this. We're in their boardroom. And Len Williams, the CEO president, will have him start. And then he will be followed by Judd Kirkham, who is the chief credit officer of Altabank. And then we'll turn the time over to Luisa Franca, who is the SBA servicing manager. And we'll let them make presentations, and then we'll move forward from there. So, Len, we'll give the mic up to you.
Well, thank you, Mayor Frost and Josh. We appreciate your compassion and concern, and you're taking action to get the group together today. You know, I don't know how long. We probably have a myriad of business owners with different lengths of tenure, but just to show the age a little bit and maybe offer a little bit of solace. I've been in banking since 1977 and endured a 21% prime rate, the 1987 stock market crash, the tech bust, 9/11, Great Recession, and now this. And the one thing I do know is people and businesses pull together and we get through these things, often looking different than we did when we started them. But we will get through this. We're in crazy times where every decision seems to have pretty dramatic trade-offs. So just like you, when we're meeting together with our leadership team, the conversations are about if we do this, then what happens here? And those trade-offs end up being pretty tough discussions in their own right. The big difference, I think, and I hope this provides a little bit of comfort, is the big difference in this potential economic downturn and the one 11 or 12 years ago is the fact that the financial system is much stronger than it was back then. And I think there were some learnings there. So banks, we're not really concerned with the banks getting through this. You know, there may be a bump and a bruise along the way, but we'll all be here. Using Altabank, for example, we have 50% more capital as a percentage of assets than we had in the downturn. We've doubled reserves, 100% more, and increased liquidity to ensure that clients, be it consumers or businesses, can get to their money if they need it. So, and I'm speaking for all banks, that's very common out there. So they're in a safe, your money's in a safe place, and we'll get through that piece of it. Now, most banks are operating in kind of a safety mode with limited branch openings, but all drive-throughs are open. As a matter of fact, I believe with most banks, and certainly the case with us, if you need to come in and do some business that you can't get through a drive-through, there's somebody there that'll let you in. So while we have less people together, I think we can do pretty much everything that could be done before this thing started a few months ago. So the industry is safe, sound, and strong. But our biggest concern, frankly, is the economy for the small business. The good news is I think the whole industry, government, nonprofits, business support groups stepped up this time real quickly. You know, each individual bank, and I would say if you have concerns, start making contact on what you can do, what the options are, because each different bank has a contingency plan that is offering relief of some sort or different options or thoughts to work with you. The Utah Bankers Association has all the bank leaders in touch several times a day, sharing ideas that different places are using, so we can be on top of these. The FDIC, the Federal Reserve, two regulators out there have come out and said we're going to offer banks relief and some shifts from accounting protocols so they can do some things they normally wouldn't do. So we can actually provide loans in places where historically we wouldn't have been able to, because we would have had to classify it in a way that's not acceptable to the regulator. They have lifted some of those restrictions. And then the U.S. Small Business Administration is another strength here. They've committed and dedicated a ton of money for direct loans to businesses to combat this coronavirus. So, and then if we can get the federal government to pass something quicker, sooner rather than later. I was kind of hoping, like you were, that they'd have something completed by today, but we're not all the way there yet, but I'm confident that it will be. As I said, in some cases, these agencies have direct lending and support programs, and then in others, the banks have their own programs. The updates are coming several times a day, so if you have issues, reach out. You know, we're all answering our phones. We're all available, and I'm talking about us, meaning the industry, to help plan and talk through situations. Are we going to be able to solve everything? Probably not. But are we going to be able to provide some different direction and thoughts and up-to-date data on what's available? I think we can help there. So that's just a little bit about the industry. I'd now like to turn the time over to Judd Kirkham. Judd is our Executive Vice President and Chief Credit Officer at Altabank, and he'll go over some of the specifics that are out there that might provide a little more data for you. Judd?
Thanks, Len. Thanks for your comments regarding the industry and the health and the preparedness there. It'll be needed as we go forward in these times that are hopefully brief, but we just don't know yet at this time. I wanted to expound a little bit on a comment that Len made about regulators and their views as it relates to the situation we're in and the comments they're making. And if I may just read a couple sentences here of the direction they're giving. The FDIC encourages financial institutions to work with affected customers and communities. The FDIC recognizes that such efforts serve the long-term interests of communities and the financial system when conducted with appropriate management oversight and are consistent with safe and sound banking practices and applicable laws, including consumer protection laws. So they recognize the gravity of the situation we're in and the need that's out there for the business community and the small business owner. And so banks are preparing plans to help in that regard. As you know, there are thousands of banks across the country and many, many banks in the state of Utah. All of them will handle them, I'm sure, in different situations. Some of the thoughts and the ideas that are being thrown out there are related to increasing cash limits at ATMs, maybe helping with certain service fees for the short term, offering accommodations in the form of payment deferrals, as well as increasing credit card limits for credit-worthy borrowers. So as you can tell, there's various ideas that are being thrown out there. And as Len mentioned, it's important to communicate with your financial institution. Let them know how you're doing, what needs you may have, so that they can be best prepared to help you. I'd like to dive in a little bit as to Altabank and specifically some things that we're doing where we feel like it will be the best help we can provide in the shortest period of time. There are three in particular. First off, as it relates to consumers and the loans they have with the bank, we are in short order sending out a payment deferment form to them. Quick, easy, proactive, get it in their hands. You know, we do this around the holidays when we offer a payment vacation, so to speak, for 1 month. This will be something similar, only it will be up to 3 months. They will have the option to defer 3 months worth of payments on their consumer loans. It's quick, it's easy, they just have to notify us. There will be no fee for it. The second measure is as it relates to commercial businesses. What can we do to help commercial businesses that are, experiencing difficult times? A similar payment deferral process will occur. This won't go out proactively. It will be incumbent upon our loan officers and the businesses they're associated with to talk and communicate to understand what the needs are. But there will be a payment deferral option for businesses as well, which will be up to 6 months. Again, we don't know how long this will last. It could be brief, it could be lengthy, depending on the industry you're in. If it's a hotel, if it's a restaurant, it could be pretty severe. So we're prepared, depending on the situation, to offer a payment deferral up to 6 months. Again, it'll be no fee, and it'll be a fairly quick process in order to do that. It is worth pointing out that in the spirit of regulation, that it is important for us to demonstrate the health of the company prior to the virus, that these are items related to COVID-19, and we need to demonstrate how we're going to help with the payment deferrals to get them through this process. And then lastly, as Len mentioned, the Small Business Administration has come up with a loan program, the Disaster Assistance Loan Program that they've come up with, that will help get funds into the hands of the small business owner. We brought Louisa Franca here with us as well. She's incredibly knowledgeable about the SBA and other government regulations as it relates to lending. And she's going to share with us a little bit about that program at a high level, and then we can get you some additional details as needed. Louisa?
Thank you, Judd. As he mentioned, I am the servicing manager here for Altabank, and just wanted to talk to you a little bit about what the SBA is offering, also known as the U.S. Small Business Administration. They are now taking applications for businesses directly suffering from this coronavirus disaster. These are working capital loans designed to be used to pay fixed debts, payrolls, accounts payable, and other bills that you would have been able to pay for had the coronavirus not hit our community. These loans are up to $2 million. The terms of the loans can be up to 30 years for 3.75% interest for small businesses and 2.75% interest fixed for nonprofit organizations. Loans over $25,000 will require collateral. That is not to say the SBA will deny these loans for lack of collateral, but will look to take any available collateral available. Again, you have to be a small business to be able to apply for these loans, and the SBA is encouraging borrowers to go ahead and apply online and start the application process. If you do need to print out an application, that is available online as well at disasterloan.sba.gov.
Just want to remind everyone to mute your phones.
If anyone has any questions, I think we're going to go into the Q&A.
So I think we're ready now. If you have questions, that's kind of the nuts and bolts of what's going on. There's a lot of different financial options out there. So for questions, it's going to be a little difficult, but if you unmute, please say your name, what company you're with, and then your question. Hopefully we can not step all over each other. We had to put this together fairly quickly, so that's about the best we can do right now for this. As we continue this call series, we'll be able to perfect that a little bit better. But who has questions out there about anything to do with finances or the SBA loan, or what are some options out?
This is Pam Lancaster.
Okay, Pam, go ahead.
I'm in Highland, Utah, and I had a question about the working capital loan. What is the website we would go to apply?
That is a disaster loan, DISASTER loan, LOAN.SBA.gov.
5% of the loans and sections, though, are in.
Okay, somebody's not muted. Can you please mute your phone?
I'll do it, but 5%.
Huh. All right, well, we'll just keep going. Pam, did you have any other questions?
Disasterloan.sba.gov?
Yes.
That's right.
Okay, thanks.
All right, Rod, I think you had a question from World Class Auto?
Yes, World Class Auto Repair. In filling out this disaster loan application, or just looking at it, I see that it says the loan is only available to those who cannot get credit elsewhere. what's the criteria for that? And I see a situation where you say, well, okay, my bank is going to help me out, and then however long goes by and the bank says, oh, sorry, we can't help you out, and then you go to the SBA and they're, oh, hey, sorry, we don't have any more money to loan. So how are we balancing that, and how do you know if you can get credit elsewhere or not?
So I think for the purpose of this situation that we're all experiencing, if you're looking to get a disaster loan, most likely for the situation, you wouldn't be able to go to your lender to get a conventional loan with a competitive interest rate. That is an SBA eligibility requirement for lenders to state that this borrower is getting this loan because they cannot qualify for a regular conventional program. So that is why they have to have that statement on the application.
Hey, Rod, this is Len Williams. What I'd suggest you do just to speed that process up, whoever your bank is, just get directly with the loan officer as soon as you can, talk through it, and let's get that process done as quickly as possible. If you'll qualify, you ought to know within a couple of days. If you won't, they ought to have a discussion up front and get you pointed in the right direction. I think it's a time where the banks are going to need to step up and probably push it a little faster than they normally would as well. So just to be there, have the conversation, talk about timeline, and we'll do what we can to help.
Well, that's good because I bank with Altabank, and so I'll be calling my loan officer directly.
Perfect.
Altabank bought out.
Okay, do we have any other questions?
That's what they do. That's banks around the world.
Obviously, someone has a question as to the changing of the name of the bank.
Yeah, I could actually hit on that one. I heard the discussion. Altabank did not sell. It's the same bank. We just changed our name. We've had 3 banks involved for a period of time, different names, different communities. We just united the names. So same ownership, same people, same management, no change.
This is Giles Witherspoon Boyd with Protocol Enterprises.
Welcome to the call,
like
Giles.
To know if the bank is, well, thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you for having it. I truly appreciate it. I'd like to know if the banking system has talked about doing something about pushing back commercial and debt, like mortgages, credit cards, if that's on the table, if that's being discussed, because I think that will alleviate a lot of the fear that you're dealing with right now. And another question, kind of not really related to that, is there any resource where we're putting together where stores are putting up their hours for seniors? So seniors or people that are at high risk know they can shop at a certain time without mingling with us filthy millennials and other people that like to go around and spread disease without showing it. So 2 questions.
Yeah, I don't know about the senior one. This is Len again. I'll turn that back to maybe one of the shop owners on the line. But regarding debt, banks like us, for example, and most do, what they do is give deferment on credit debt. We're not talking about wiping it out. That's an actual loss to us as well. But the timeline is there. And while I was on this call, I got a notice from Fannie Mae stating that all banks right now need to put in a program to defer mortgage payments up to a year. So that's being worked on as we speak. So yeah, the consumer relief load is a big issue as well. If unemployment rates start to climb, there certainly needs to be something while this thing gets worked out so folks can get back to work. So I know that's being worked on all ends.
Thank you. That actually truly answers my question, and I probably said that wrong. I'm an IT guy, definitely not a banker. I mess that stuff up all the time. But I do have a question about the website, or maybe putting some information together for seniors. I think we can. I have seniors that we have in our congregation that I've been going to the store for them or offering to. But if we could give them time slots where they could shop on their own, I think it'll help getting people buying, but also it'll alleviate fear. And
So I'm gonna let the mayor address that for you real quick.
Well, I can address it from an observation standpoint, not anything that we're doing as a city, but our local grocery stores are offering those hours to seniors, basically giving them first in, with the idea that the stocking of the shelves come through the night, and they give hours to them to come in and not get run over, and first choice at product. And so from American Fork, Fresh Market has developed those things, and we have tried to use what they have and use our microphone as a city as a way of educating our residents so that they know it's available. I've heard word and I've seen others follow suit through news articles and stories that the Smiths and others. So I can't speak directly to who's not, but I think that most are. And so that was something that I'm highly concerned about in the city as our senior community. And so that's all I can speak about that. There might be a grocer on the line that might be able to speak more to that, but I think in general the grocery stores have felt the need, they've seen it, and they are being very, very sympathetic to the seniors in the area.
And Mayor, can you
Maybe
address?
if we could find a way to find a way to compile that information and send it out in blast, I think that'd be really helpful, because I know a lot of people personally, judging by my sampling of the world, that don't know that.
Okay.
So we can get that out in a large message. Hey, stores, here, seniors, here are the stores that are open. Here's the hours they are open. I think Mayor Frost people would love that. It's right up there with public internet. But we can get back to that conversation another time.
I think there's been a lot of talking points to that. I've seen it on, for instance, KSL has highlighted it on the news media side. I've seen news articles about it, and the city we have seen what they've done, and we've used what voice we can lend to that to get that information out as well. And so, but I think it's a good point, and we can all look inward to say how can we spread the word, because seniors are in a very different way of receiving information, and we've known that. They like a printed copy. So in the city, we send out mailers, and we'll send that out in a mail form because we know the seniors like to open up mail and actually read it. And so we will do that, and I think that would help. But that comes once a month. So point taken. So thank you.
And Mayor, can you address the lunch program that the senior center is doing?
Yeah, in our senior center in American Fork, we have, that what it is there's Meals on Wheels, and that's for people that are homebound. And then we would have every day a congregated meal where they would bring in the food in almost like a cafeteria style of eating, and you just scoop it out of a big tray. Well, when this happened, and about 103 people a day eat that meal inside of the senior center, and much of it is the meal, and we know a lot of it is the social aspects associated with having them together. Of course, this kind of turned that upside down. And so we felt like the least we could do is really be organized as a city to provide the meal. And so working with Mount Len Association of Government and Aging Services, they reconstructed on how they prepare the meals, and instead of coming in big bulk supplies where you just put on a plate, they've made it somewhat like a TV dinner. And it stacks well, it's got a cellophane wrap on it, and our volunteers prepare it, put it in a sack, and have now provided a curbside pickup so that people can come through there. And I could just say it's one of the more humbling things I've been able to see. And it really lifts me. They're probably wondering, why is the mayor here? Well, I'm there to just gather strength from them. It's the seniors in our city are very united to help each other out. And so I think if there's a message to be given from me, it would be that as business owners, as we're looking for help, be very mindful of the seniors in your community with whoever you come in contact with. I said to them on Friday, I said, what's the biggest need you feel like the seniors have right now? This was the senior board. And in unison, they all said toilet paper, almost in unison. And so we're having a little bit of a toilet paper drive. We're going to kick it off, and we're going to try to get the seniors in a place that they can feel comfortable that they have toilet paper. And so that's just one thing that we're trying to do. But be very aware of the senior community within your sphere. They're important. And so I want to add one more thing, and this is a little bit off topic, and I probably should have mentioned that as I just had a few minutes before. And that is we have made personnel adjustments and operational adjustments to the city, that we are very aware of our public safety. We look at them as our front line to this virus. And we're very, very, very attuned with their needs. A quick example was one or two of them were afraid that if they contacted the virus that they would go home to a compromised situation of somebody in their house that was immune deficient. And so we took that to heart, and we thought about it and he didn't want to quarantine at home, this one individual. And so we thought of different resources we had, and so in American Fork City, we will be looking to the rec center because we have showers and facilities there and rooms that we can provide a place for them to stay. And we will even bring in a TV because they'll be in a quarantine situation. I share that as an example of how, as an organization, I think you just kind of have to take information as it comes and think through it, and then be very creative in the way that you go about things. And so that's just one example of the city, but it applies across the board to all our businesses, because the news we get today might be very different tomorrow, and we have to be adaptable. And I think that's a really good example of something that we've done in the city and many other things. So adaptability, that's a good word to be used right now.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Hopefully that answers your question, and we will look at getting those resources out there. Do we have any other questions?
Hey, it's Ashley with Ship and Sip. It's not really a question. It's just kind of, I'm just going to throw it out there. If you guys ever need a spot to hold the drive so you can still practice social distancing, we can use our whole lobby to chuck it full of toilet paper or whatever for these seniors, just if you ever need it.
And that's a good point, Ashley. I've had a lot of businesses reach out to me saying that they have employees, they have people that they would like to come out and volunteer and serve the community. And so we're going to work closely with the mayor and David Bunker, the city administrator, on ways we can help engage the business community in providing resources and volunteer opportunities to be able to help everyone get through this a little bit safer and quicker.
Yes, and Ship and Sip would, yeah, exactly. And Ship and Sip would want it to just be a volunteer opportunity. We wouldn't expect anything other than just being able to help the senior community.
Sure. Appreciate that. Any other comments?
Yeah.
I have a quick question. This is Peter with UVU again, and also I own my own small business, Coconut Cove. And I just wondered if we had any idea what the timeline is for the emergency SBA loans.
I have been told on a conference call with the SBA that once a complete package of an application submitted is 15 days.
Okay.
They were having some issues processing the applications on Thursday and Friday, but they said that Monday they expected the system to be fully going, able to take applications right now.
Okay. So it sounds like about 15 days to get your emergency SBA loan processed. Okay, is there a time like 15 days to get the money in hand, or?
Yes, that's what we've been told. Again, make sure that you're working on your documents, working with your loan officer here at Altabank. I am working directly with our loan officers to answer any questions, trying to get all of these documents filled out as quickly as possible. It is very important that you submit a complete package.
Okay, and we appreciate, Len, when you started off the call that you mentioned that this is something that all the bank and financial institutions are working on. And so whoever you happen to be banking with at the time, please reach out to those loan officers. If you're wondering, there's plenty of experts out here that are able to help. And so any other questions? We've still got some time.
Yes, this is Kelly at the Mountain Land Technical College.
Hi, Kelly. Thanks for calling.
Hi, sure. Hey, the question I had, well, first off, I wanted to say this is a great thing you guys are doing. I appreciate the forum and getting the information out. I think it's very important to band together and support each other at this time. My question is regarding that process. Is there a way that if people have subjects that they would like to cover in these kinds of calls in the future, that they can get in touch with you to get, so they can put these suggestions forth?
So I think obviously we're working closely with getting the resources out on the page. I think we'll just talk with all of our institutions to see what's the easiest way to get them that information.
Are you referring specifically to the banking and SBA resources, or are you referring to future topics for this type of a forum?
I think it could be either of the above. I just think it would be, if you want us to communicate through that page or to DM you through Facebook, I just wanted to see what process you'd like to put in place for how the business community can either follow up on this topic or.
So I know for this.
This is Christina with the chamber. Josh and I are working pretty much 24/7 right now, so we're happy for anybody to call us, text us, email us. If you have questions about this or something else that's not even related, you're welcome to get a hold of us somehow. We're not in the office a lot anymore, obviously. We're both working from home mostly. So if you go to our website, our contact info is there. Those are our cell phone numbers. You can call us anytime. We're happy to answer questions. And if you have any suggestions, if there's anything specifically that you want us to discuss, we would love for people to give us feedback on that.
And to kind of reiterate what Christina was saying, either one of us were available anytime. Obviously, this is a crazy, that's the word I've heard the most, is just a crazy time. It's hard to explain it any other way. And so we are looking at resources. We're on a page that has chamber professionals communicating with each other throughout the country and the world on resources that we can come up with for businesses. And so as we get those resources and we find it applicable to our area, we put those out there as quickly as possible. Now, Kelly, we're also going to be doing this call ongoing. So we're talking about, maybe twice a week right now during this coronavirus epidemic. And so we will get that information out for the next call. We're already talking about what would be a good subject. And so we're going to be working closely with the Business Resource Center and Peter, and also Camille over at the Small Business Development Center, to make sure we have good speakers that have positive and, well, maybe not positive, but good information for the businesses and resources that they can use. Okay, any other questions? All right, if there's no other questions.
What phone number do people use to contact you, Josh?
So you can just call my cell, 801-472-7467. So you can either text or call, or you can send us an email.
Yes.
And Christina, go ahead.
You can call mine too. Yeah, my number is 801-232-4824. You can contact me as well.
And those numbers are on the website, but we'll make sure that they're available all over the place. Again, thanks everyone for coming on the call. If you do have any specific questions, reach out to us. We are going to make this, we've recorded the audio, and I've been doing my best to get video of this so that we will make it available to everyone to review, and make it available to people that weren't able to be on this call today. So thanks again. We really appreciate everyone being on. We appreciate Altabank for hosting us, and for the Small Business Development Center and the Business Resource Center for working with us on this, and also American Fork City for working hand in hand with us. It's been talked about quite a bit about public-private partnerships to make this coronavirus issue as less painful as possible. And so we feel like our relationship with the city is really helping us to get those tools out to the business community in a quick and efficient manner. So thanks again, and look forward to hearing you on the next call.
Thank you, everybody.